I'm Ann Stolinsky. I am a partner in Gemini Wordsmiths, LLC, and Celestial Echo Press, and I'm a friend with Charles Baruch. And he and I co-authored a story, Can a Sleepwalker Awaken? And I'm going to read the first part of that story. May 14th, 2008. I see them everywhere, people who sleepwalk through their lives. They fully accept that they are cogs in a great machine, replaceable, disposable cogs. Until this morning, I never saw myself as one of them. Not until my alarm clock rang on this cold, raw Wednesday morning and my feet hit the floor with twin thuds. I woke the next morning with no recollection of the above-mentioned events. Later, there were memories which I pieced together over time, a filling in of blanks I regret with every fiber of my tortured soul. As I woke on the morning of Thursday, May 15th, I thought it was the day previous, having lost all mental proof that Wednesday had come and gone. May 15th, 2008. So it was that when my alarm clock woke me, I believed myself to be entirely myself. I hummed along to the sound of Beethoven, which was wafting in from some neighbor's apartment as I thrust the covers from my body. My sleepy brain acknowledged that something felt off, wrong, but my still drowsing powers of deduction were slow to put a name to it. I turned off my alarm and sat up in bed. With my feet, I felt all about for my slippers, which should have been where I left them. I slipped them off as I got into bed the previous night, so far as I could remember, as was my custom every night. Not finding them, I fully opened my eyes to look down at the floor. That's when I began to understand what was off, when I had my first odd inkling. The blanket and the sheets were a vivid yellow. I had never in my adult life owned bedclothes of this color. I turned from these thoughts, afraid of where they led. Instead, I concentrated on the slippers. It was as if some broken wiring in my brain equated finding them with resolving the question posed by the sheer yellowness of the sheets. You need to understand that I live a well-regimented life. Colors don't change. Things remain where I leave them. My slippers were never missing. My sheets were never a different color. I worked hard at creating a glorious uniformity in my life, a rigid path that brooked no insolence, and that reality, tuned and tailored reality, had gone awry. I was fully awake now. All my senses were brought to bear on the matter of the missing slippers. I dropped to my hands and knees, an undignified position which I normally avoided. From this new vantage, I scanned the empty space beneath the bed, trying to summon the missing footwear by sheer force of will. I tamped down my rising anxiety. I stood and turned on the bedside lamp. A sleepy voice mumbled, "Turn off the light." I jumped, unbalancing myself, landing on the floor. Hearing a voice in an otherwise empty room has capacity enough to make one frightened. Added to that was the fact that I felt my lips move, my throat vibrate as the words were spoken. It was then, as I stood thinking, that I heard myself say, "You should not be here." Those words cracked the door to the vault of memory. I had a flash of Wednesday, a brief awareness that I had lost a full day. And just as quickly, the vault closed, and I was left with the deafening echo of that slammed door. Something alien was waking in my brain. It was pushing me aside, overriding me, and demanding control of my body. I was paralyzed, but my body wasn't. It was moving.